Welcome to Vision MBA, guys. Today we are going to understand IMA math examination, its exam pattern and opportunities. Not just we are going to focus on the math examination, but what all opportunities you can get from this exam and each and every information related to it. So let's get started. First thing first, let's understand pattern and exam dates of math exam. Now, guys, as you can see, this examination is divided into five parts: language comprehension, that is commonly known as verbal, intelligence and critical reasoning, this is also known as verbal reasoning, data analysis and sufficiency, DI, mathematical skills, quant, Indian and global environment. The moment people see this part, they start getting goosebumps. Basically, guys, this is nothing but a GK section, and as you can see that there are 40 questions for each section. Now, while preparing for math examination, the challenge of a student is not these sections: language comprehension, intelligence and critical reasoning, data analysis and sufficiency, and mathematical skills, but they say that they are not prepared for GK the way they should, because in India, people who are preparing for the MBA exams, they do not pay attention to GK stuff. So I want to tell them, do not worry. In math examination, while calculating your percentile, GK section performance is not taken into consideration. But that does not mean you're not going to pay attention to these questions. I'll tell you why. Now, guys, as you can see, you got 200 questions. Of course, there are five sections, 40 questions in each. So there are 200 questions, and the time for this examination is 150 minutes. Just like MSCET examination, you got 150 minutes and 200 questions. And just like CET examination, there is no sectional time limit. You can invest your time on each section the way you want to. But then I have given you ideal time for each section. So that means 30 minutes language comprehension, 30 minutes for reasoning, verbal reasoning, 35 minutes for data analysis, sufficiency, 40 minutes for mathematical skills. But then, guys, if you are good in verbal, trust me, these 30 minutes also not required. In 20 minutes you can attempt those questions, and so forth for other sections also. So guys, you got 150 minutes and the number of questions are 200. So that's the pattern, guys. Now let's understand the marking pattern. Each of the 200 questions that are part of the math question paper carries 1 mark. I'm so sorry, it is 1 mark. There is a typing error. 1 mark each, thereby taking the total marks for the exam to 200. However, math exam also has negative marking of 0.25. So guys, in MSCET examination, you can randomly attempt a question without being feared of marking down. But in math examination, if you do not know a question, or if you do not know how to attempt a question, you must not attempt it. Now, guys, people think that this makes this examination difficult, but actually it makes it easy. You look at the question, you can attempt it. Of course, the time is less, the number of questions are more, and that is why I've mentioned the sectional bifurcation of time, allocated time. You can go back to this recording and listen on read that thing. But then, guys, let's say if you are not sure about a question and you know that this question might take more time, or still you won't be getting the right answer, so please skip that question. You can simply skip that question because there is a negative marking. Now let's get into the depth of the sections which I've already mentioned. I'll start with intelligence and critical reasoning. Now, guys, just like any other exam, sequence and series, input output analysis, direction sense, data arrangement, coding decoding, blood relation, critical reasoning like statement and assumption, statement and conclusion, statement and courses of action, those kind of questions are there in this section. Language comprehension is nothing but uh, LC section are generally detailed and logical comprehension and good grasp of language and comprehension skills. As you can see, is nothing but verbal questions are going to be there. Reading ability of the candidate. I remember I always suggest my students that if you are a reader, then you are a leader. If you do not love reading, start loving it if you want to be in a good B school. Now let's talk about data analysis and sufficiency. Now, guys, again, coding, decoding, blood relation, data arrangement, direction sense, others, input, output. So these kind of questions are still there in this one. Mathematical skills, you will be getting arithmetic, geometry. Candidates would need to know basic formula and elementary math concepts in order to crack this section. Now, there are many students, they are worried of the mathematical scales section or the quant section. It is clearly mentioned that elementary basic mathematical concepts you must be good in. And trust me, if you are preparing for any management entrance examination, this section of math won't be troubling you at all. Now let's talk about the GK section, guys. This is the section that is heavily dependent upon candidates' knowledge of current affairs. Now, guys, at Vision MBA, we make sure that we keep on feeding you, we keep on informing you current affairs in the groups, and also we keep on motivating students to make sure that they read regularly. But then usually the topics are important topics are economic, business, financial, political events happening around us. Remember, guys, while calculating percentile, this section is not taken into consideration. Now, guys, unlike other examination, math examination is conducted 4 times in a year. Yes, guys, you heard me right. 4 times a year. Now, the question is, what is the validity of the score? The score validity is for 1 year. And when all the examination is going to take place, let's get to know that. Now, guys, math is usually conducted 4 times in a year in February, May, September, and December. This time there is a little slight change because of COVID situation. Now, guys, the score of math examination is valid for 1 year. So, Feb, May, September, December. So, that means if you have attempted the examination in September and December, you are eligible for the next cycle of admission. And Feb and May, you are eligible for that season. So, and yes, not just that, math examination can be taken on pen and paper. This is the only examination left in India. Management entrance examination left in India that is still on pen and paper. However, there is an online mode also, paper based mode also. Nowadays, because of COVID situation, they have also given you take from home internet based system also. So guys, yes, the notification is out and I've already mentioned that in the groups. So guys, math examination is a blessing to students who didn't score 50 percentile in the graduation, because in many entrance examination the eligibility to appear in that examination is that you must have scored more than 50 percentile in graduation. But unfortunately, there are many students who didn't get that much percentile. For them, math is still a way to get into a decent MBA college and do management in business or management in business administration. So I hope this information is making sense. Now, people ask me, sir, okay, you have mentioned about the examination, marking pattern, everything, but what all colleges accepts it? So I've given you the list of colleges in Mumbai. SIES, Navi Mumbai, it accepts SIES, Chetna, ITM, SDA, Bocconi, IES, Vivekanand, Guru Nanak, Bharati Vidyapeeth, Kohinoor Business School. And this is the expected cutoff. Now, guys, this is for PGDM. Let me remind you, this for PGDM, not for MMS. In Maharashtra, MMS is only through CET examination. So, guys, this examination can also give you a chance to be in these colleges, especially people are targeting SIES, Chetana, IES. So, these three colleges they do accept math scores for their and PGDM, and of course the cutoff you can see here. Let me highlight them for these colleges, and yes, other colleges are also there. Last but not the least, tips to ace this exam. Now, guys, how to be good in this examination? Last year question papers. Go through the last year question, solve them, understand the concept well so you can confidently solve the questions of the same pattern. So this is the first point, that last year question papers you must attempt them. Strategize. Yes, guys, know about the test, the exam pattern and test timing, mock test. Assess yourself continuously by attempting mock test and take every test seriously. While attempting mocks, people do not pay attention. They are attempting mock but their attention is somewhere. They are not attempting it the way uh, an actual examination is going to be attempted by them. So be serious, strategize accordingly. Work on your strength and weakness. Practice is the only way to know your strengths and weakness. Once you know it, then make a schedule and work on them. Time management, guys. Now, guys, MBA examination is all about time management and decision making. It's not about anything else. So, guys, keep a track of time while practicing and attempting the mocks. However, I've already mentioned the suitable time frame you must be attempting or you must be investing in each and every section at the beginning of this recording. Concentrate, put full concentration, avoid making silly mistakes, start doing it while practicing. Silly mistakes, do not do it, guys. It is self-explanatory. You can read, and if you want you can pause this video here. You can also take a screenshot of what all things I have mentioned here. Now, guys, score to get 90 or above percentile, you have to attempt 30 out of 40 in logical and verbal individually. So, guys, I have already mentioned how many marks you must get to get more than 90 percentile. So this is how exactly it is: 25 out of 40 data interpretation and quantitative aptitude individually. So total around 110 out of 160. So 110 questions right out of 160. This is not taking into consideration those 40 questions asked in the GK section. Remember, I mentioned that GK section scores are not considered, but then, yes, you please go through the GK stuff I present or I show or I give it to you. Why? Because while getting selected to top colleges like SIS, they might also check how much you have scored in the GK section to further eliminate students. So, guys, that's it. I hope this video will give you exact idea about math examination and also help you to take a decision whether you should attempt it or not. Thank you, guys.